Welcome back to the lab, folks. Well, we've had some pretty interesting times around here lately. We had a few days ago, we had a very large storm pass through here. We got tornado warnings every couple of hours. Man, a lot of trees came down. And in the neck of the woods that I'm in, there were about 200 separate power failures, and ours in particular took them 3 days to fix. I still think there's still people out there without power now after 4 days. So it was quite interesting. Although they had tornado warnings, I don't think Environment Canada has declared that there was a tornado yet. And they're very reluctant to do that because insurance companies treat tornadoes as acts of God. They can just say we're not covering it because it's an act of God. But anyway, that's another thing entirely. So what we're going to do today is we're going to work on this little AC load that I have. It's got a big rheostat in it. And we're going to fancy it up a little bit and put a little bit of protection on it. Now, this particular rheostat's good for about 2 amps total. So I've got this little meter here that I'm going to put into it, and it goes from 0 to 3 amps. And it's going to have to be kind of up at the corner as far as possible to kind of get around the rheostat. I'm going to have to determine whether that's even possible or not, but it should be. It should be possible. And then I'm also going to put a fuse in it, and so I've got to decide where that fuse is going to go to. It's a similar situation with it. It's got to be able to get around the body of this big rheostat here. So I'm going to have to figure out where to put that as well. And I'll put like a 2 amp fuse in this. I would rather blow early than blow this. These things, they're wire wound, and as you go, you step down, you're stepping down, you're getting very close to the end. You go from one step to the next, you half the load. So the current suddenly jumps up and doubles. So that's why I want to have some sort of fuse protection on it. I want to have it close to the rating of this. I don't want any damage to occur to these. They're not cheap. So that's what I'm going to do today. So let's, without further ado, let's get into this thing and see what we can do about getting all this worked out. Now, before I take the front panel off, actually, I have to take this off because it's bigger than the opening in the front panel, so it has to come off. So let me get a right screwdriver for that and get that off. Okay, so I'm just going to mark around. I've marked here the corner of the chassis itself, and here I'm going to mark around the potentiometer or rheostat. I do not have these. I don't have used. What means I'm not. Okay. Sorry, exactly. These more left. I'm going to do that. Good. And you got the fuse holder in here. Wait. I'm not sure. I'll put it on the back, that's sure. So I'll just I'm tight. Make sure. Maybe there. There's on these posts. Over here. Okay, goes on. Easy to grab in. So 40, 43.6 for 4 millimeters. 4 millimeters. So mark that hole. 4 millimeters. 4 millimeters. Okay, we've got that square hole marked up. And it looks like we can actually move it down a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get a more permanent marker and mark this up a little bit better. And I'm going to move it down just a tad from where it is, because we've got plenty of room in that respect. Okay, that's where we're going to put the hole for the meter. I gotta go drill a hole now and nibble that out, and we'll be back when that's done. Okay, we're gonna have to touch up the paint a little bit, but there is the hole for the ammeter, and it's just nice. It's nice. You know what? It looks to me like it's kind of twisted, but it's not. I can tell from the rail along here that it's the same all the way. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna now look for a place to put the fuse, and I'll drill that hole and I'll come back. Okay, so we've got all the holes at the panel now, and I got it touched up with the paint. You know, a little hair in the paint there. That's okay. This is a slightly different paint. It's the same base. It's an enamel, but it's a little less glossy. But I think I should have gone with the gloss. It kind of looked better, but that's okay. It is the way it is. So I'm just going to reassemble all this, and we'll come back and wire it up. All right, there's everything mounted up. I pulled this back out. Everything clears it. So this is the last thing I have to put in. So I'm just going to wire up the ammeter and the fuse. They'll be going to the wiper, which is the blue terminal. We'll come back when that's all done, reassemble it, and test it out. All right, got everything mounted up. Got fingerprints all over everything, and we got it all wired up. So let's get it. We have to get the front panel into the case. Then put in the rheostat and then connect that up. So let's get onto that. We've got it all back together here, and we're going to hook it up to this transformer. This transformer will supply up to 4 amps, so it should be plenty for our test here. And you're going to put a fuse in. This is a 2 amp fuse. So I don't know if you all know how fuses work, but this fuse should be able to run indefinitely at 2 amps and be able to take short-term excursions up beyond the 2 amps. So just in case you have something that goes a little haywire before you can get to it, it should be fine. And we're going to put this in here and this in here, and we'll put it across the 12 volts here. which is the center tap of this transformer. And we've got it down all the way, and we'll turn it on. Okay, we saw some movement there of the dial. All right. So we can go above a little bit. Let me get my meter out here and check to see how accurate that current is. Just a second here. We're going to use this laddie here. And very common here. And yeah, we wanted to read AC current, so here we go. This little meter is saying 1 amp, 1.1, here we go, 1 amp, 1.02, 1.5 amps, 2 amps, and you can go up to 2.5, well, we're getting to a resolution point here, 2.5, yeah. So that's good, it's working. All right, so there we have a fully protected 2 amp load with a readout here for AC. That'll come in very handy, and I don't want to blow this thing up, but you can see that when you get to the end of the travel there, that just going to there, the current jumps up tremendously because you're doing a final divide down there at the end. So yeah, it's nice to have that indication. And it's nice to have the fuse. All right, thank you very much for coming out to watch this video. I know it's been a little while since the last one, but we had no power here for 3 days, and I had a lot of cleanup of trees down around the property as well. So yeah, it's been a trying spring so far with this little disaster that occurred. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you in the next video. I appreciate it very much. Bye bye.